Derek Cianfrance's crime drama, The Place Beyond the Pines, follows the story of Luke Glanton, a motorcycle daredevil who works for a traveling carnival. His thrill of a life seemingly stops when he finds out that he has a son with Romina, a woman he had a fling with the last time he was in town. Despite Romina's initial protest, Luke insists on being part of his son's life. He immediately quits his job and takes a low-paying job with a local mechanic named Robin. Robin used to rob banks to make ends meet and offers to partner up with Luke. Luke is desperate to prove himself worthy to Romina, so he takes this job to provide financially for his son. Luke's criminal deviant path and his eventual entanglement with the police, in combination with mirroring shots, jury mise-en-scène, and editing the story linearly, serves merely as catalysts from which the real focus of the film emerges. The Place Beyond the Pines portrays that our fates are determined by our actions and the actions of those who came before us. One of the common themes is Luke being unable to understand the consequences of his actions, or perhaps just his inability to control them. One example of this can be seen when Romina and Luke are laying in bed together talking about their child. The scene starts with Luke waiting outside the place Romina works. It then fades into them in bed, and his trailer as a non-diegetic sound of them talking plays. Mixing diegetic anthems such as Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark with ex-cathedra chorales and original piano theme by Mike Patton creates a dramatic shift in the tone of the scene. This sets up the scene to be cute and reminiscent.
What's he like to eat?
Luke then mentions that he wants to give his son Jason ice cream, so that whenever he eats ice cream he will think of his father's face.
And look in his face when he tries ice cream. Every time he has ice cream for the rest of his life, he's gonna see my fucking face.
Unnoticeable to Luke, Romina silently cries. Throughout the rest of their time getting ice cream, Romina is seen silently crying. She understands that she is just living and entertaining Luke's fairy tale for the time being, but it won't last. She understands that Luke won't be in their lives, but Luke doesn't seem to understand. Luke's mind is not complex. He lives his life as it was simple. He tries to be good, but terribly fails. Cianfrance speaks about how many of the scenes in the film have echoes later on. Visual motifs and repeated locations demonstrate how you can feel linked to somebody's legacy even after 15 years of death. Luke Glanton is only alive in the film's first 50 minutes, and his son, Jason, is only seen on the screen for the last 50 minutes. How can we relate these two? The film created almost identical shots between Luke and his son Jason. You can see here in the following side-by-side comparisons. In this shot, we see a moving bird's eye view of both Luke and Jason, almost identical. With shots like these, we can link the mutual love of writing between a father and son. We can connect their crimes, show how similar friendships develop, and such visual associations help the viewer understand the relationship between those two figures who almost never appear together on the screen. This is a scene near the end of the film where Jason meets Robin in the trailer his father lived in 15 years ago. This visually resembles the moment where Luke first sees the trailer. Those two scenes are an hour apart in the film, so you can see that when these two scenes are cut together, how plainly they are interacting with one another. The sense of bond that the characters feel is tangible to the audience in that moment. Once we remember the look of the scene from before, it places us emotionally in the characters' shoes. We aren't defined by others' actions, but those who came before us can leave lasting impressions whether they want to or not. Consequences can cage you, and unfortunately can cage others around you. The director utilizes the linear storyline to connect the father and son. There was no need for side-by-side comparison in the movie, as their identical actions within their timelines spoke clearly for themselves.